Uxbridge responds to concerns from the new animal shelter charity organization. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Uxbridge. After receiving a letter from the new Animal Shelter for Uxbridge-Scugog Charity Board of Directors, NASUS, the Township of Uxbridge is responding and changing how often they interact with this charity. At a meeting on Monday, October 18th, councillors voted to receive the letter and have staff create a written response to it, as well as have regular quarterly meetings between the Township of Uxbridge, NASUS, and the Township of Scugog. Mayor Dave Barton also provided a verbal response to the letter at the meeting. The letter began, on September 19, 2018, mayoral candidate Barton told a community meeting he would ensure a new animal shelter would be built for the residents of Uxbridge and Scugog. 3 years later, the shelter is not built. The project's donors, volunteers, and sponsors have no visibility into its status and the strategy to complete the build. However, Mayor Barton clarified he said at the time the project was a priority for himself and the Township of Uxbridge, but he didn't commit that it would be built during this term of council. "I would never commit a blank check to a project like this," Mayor Barton added. "There's a significant funding gap in terms of getting this going." The letter goes on to state, from 2011 to 2019, the new Animal Shelter for Uxbridge-Scugog, NASUS, organization contributed over $700,000 to the construction of a new facility to replace the aging, inadequate shelter on Reach Street. The Township of Uxbridge has been focused on trying to find multiple funding partners for this project. "When we're seeking partnerships, we have to work on the timelines from those partners," explained Mayor Barton. The letter questioned the current status of the project, which Mayor Barton pointed out is in progress but on hold. Communication-wise, the NASUS Board of Directors wrote, "A meeting in June of 2020 promised ongoing updates, but nothing further has been shared." But Mayor Barton took exception with an NASUS comment about him refusing to respond to multiple requests from NASUS for an update meeting. The last request for a meeting was in May of 2020, and I met with them on June 4, 2020. There has not been a request for a meeting since. So this is inaccurate information, he stated. "I do not hide from meetings. I'll meet with whoever wants to meet with me." Ward 4 Councillor Willie Popp suggested the township set up a meeting with NASUS to provide an update and later made a motion to hold quarterly meetings with Scugog and NASUS. Regional Councillor Gord Hyatt asked Mayor Barton if he planned on providing a written response to the letter. Mayor Barton said he would like township staff to craft a response to the letter. TLDSB working on issues of lack of substitute teachers, bus drivers. Dan Kearns, local journalism initiative reporter for The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. The Trillium Lakelands District School Board, TLDSB, has been dealing with a shortage of substitute teachers and bus drivers as the school year has started. These issues were discussed during a TLDSB Committee of the Whole meeting on Tuesday, October 12th. Following a verbal report from Education Director Wes Hahn, Trustee Gary Broman asked if the board has enough supply teachers to meet the demand. Director Hahn responded saying, "On paper they do, but it ultimately comes down to their availability." Superintendent Tracy Hubbard elaborated on this issue. "No, we do not have enough occasional staff right now to manage the needs we have in the system. We are having shortages on a regular basis," she said. "It is currently a struggle to find occasional staff for all employee groups." The COVID-19 pandemic has complicated the board's process in finding substitute teachers. Right now, a lot of our occasional staff have taken leaves for a variety of reasons. Some people are still anxious about COVID-19, which is valid, and they don't wish to work in multiple centers or locations, or even work in schools where the children aren't vaccinated, Superintendent Hubert explained. She noted the issue is greater in elementary schools than in secondary schools right now, and added it's been worse trying to find educational assistants, EA. Superintendent Tim Ellis told trustees September was rather slow in terms of bus driver applications, but he is hopeful October will see more drivers looking for employment. But he added the board is faring much better in servicing routes than most boards in the province. At a meeting last month, Superintendent Ellis said Bus drivers are at a premium these days, and finding drivers is challenging, not just for TLDSB, but also across the province.
Thankfulness. Thankfulness. To be full of thanks. What a thing. If any one of us takes the time to reflect, we really can find things to be glad for in our lives. It takes no effort to see the things which are the downers. Watch this. The price of gas, the inability to sit in a restaurant buzzing to capacity, the insecurity of much of our employment, rising rental prices of houses and businesses, and the constant assault on our civil rights. I just rhymed off a handful coming to mind, as if they had a life of their own. See, no skill is needed at all to do that. But the practice of being thankful for all the good things is an acquired skill. It's not that these things are rarer. It's because we tend to gravitate to the path of least resistance. Simply put, scientifically, without maintenance, everything decays, breaks down, or comes undone. However, if we get into the practice of maintenance, if we give them encouragement, things can turn in healthier directions. Let's take our communities, which means all of us, not just the other person. If we learn to talk civilly to our neighbors, learn to understand how they view life, we can find they feel that understanding being extended, and we will sense the security of knowing another life. Or, if we maintain our health, we can have more vitality and less struggle during virus scares. The odds of coming out healthy if we contract one are much greater. We can be thankful for good health, even through these days. Let's take our family relationships. Over the past week, our son Christopher, who many of our past readers know as a columnist for the Standard newspaper, came to visit us with his wonderful bride, Hannah, during the week of Colleen's birthday and Thanksgiving. An affirming time together ensued, and we all came out of it with warm memories and established closeness. A new sister for some, a new daughter for us, and life growing. God is good. This kind of thing can happen in many homes. If we choose to put aside persistent records of misunderstandings, we can learn to put our best foot forward again and do what love would do. You see, it never fails. We may and do. So no big surprise. Yet God's unrelenting love remains. If we will submit to its training of our hearts, we will be stronger in its capacity and always, eventually, love again. Each of us knows so many people enduring times of absence or times of struggle within the family. Maybe that's even you. Really, it doesn't matter if someone sees things differently than you, if they are also willing to step out of their own shoes when you do, and into yours as you enter theirs. Just for the moment, if we abandon our premise and look through their pain or thoughts, and if they honestly do the same, there can be a huge meeting of the hearts. The common denominator is usually a lack of candid communication, something to fill with warmth and thoughtfulness. There is a strength in this vulnerability, clarity in this tenderness with each other. It takes the exercise of developing in empathy, the ability to feel as others feel. If we begin to see we are all very similar, and it's our experiences that are the biggest difference, we can begin to be thankful for the raw life in front of us. As we all have, there are those darker spaces inside we try to keep hidden from the lives around us, but they inevitably leak out and scrape up against the lives we love, sometimes in wounding ways. For instance, I've always held my sister too high growing up, and so had very high standards for the woman I would marry one day. Even though I may have given my beautiful wife hard times for many years throughout our married life, she has risen to the challenge. She was patient during our hard times, quietly praying for the change in my heart, which she knew only God could bring, and who I would only allow to bring, because of my own trust issues with people before. Sorry, sis, she reaches way past the struggles we had growing up, but thanks for being there. But you are also God's gift. Recently, my sister was brought by Jesus to a moment of transparency and honor for her life. By way of hard, honest self-reflection, she asked for my perspective and forgiveness on some of the ways she treated me as we muddled through life when we were little. It was a mess, through no fault of our own, and all we had was each other, with our own untaught defense mechanisms. Certainly, the adults around tried to break through and help, but being mutually adopted and then coming back to our natural mother, who had found a very good man, had its minefield of problems. Many of you know I am a counselor, and I have practiced for over 32 years, Let me tell you, I am so proud of the level of honesty my sister shared and her seeming willingness to continue in the hard work of real growth and maintenance of this path of change. That's bravery of heart and the kind of thing which makes life better. I am so thankful to God for the work He can do to set a heart free, if it will yield to His gracious, determined love. Life itself is a gift, and we all need to thank the one who endowed us with this gift during this wonderful season of Thanksgiving. Happy seasoning.
The Golden Years Aren't What They Used to Be, by Tina Y. Gerber. Getting older can seem like a daunting task. Deepening wrinkles, gray hair, pronounced laugh lines, forgetfulness, and the need to grab your reading glasses more often. Most people in the world today can expect to live into their 60s and beyond. A longer life provides seniors with an opportunity, a chance to pursue new activities while making valuable contributions. But of course, the main factor to consider is one's personal health. While we tend to decelerate, we can still live an active, healthy life moving at a slower pace. The best activities for keeping seniors healthy are things like art, music, puzzles, meditation, biking, swimming, and walking. These activities are easy to do for most people, no matter what their level of ability. Despite our best efforts, there are many factors to health issues. A slew of health conditions may show up as you age, and it is best to be aware of these common culprits. The greatest cause of disability today is sensory impairments, especially for middle to lower income individuals. Things causing sensory impairments include back and neck pain, pulmonary disease, diabetes, osteoarthritis, falls, age-related vision problems, and dementia. Many healthcare systems are ill-prepared to address the needs of older adults, who usually have chronic conditions. We need to provide older seniors with person-centered care, so they may stay healthier longer. We all know what we're supposed to do: eat well, stay active, maintain a healthy lifestyle, get plenty of rest, and visit our doctor regularly. It's never too late to adopt a healthier lifestyle. You can always change. Things like change from an unhealthy diet, or head towards the healthier side of life by becoming more physically active. Both of these changes will increase your lifespan. Common sense rules are to avoid alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Early detection can mean the difference between a health-related bump in the road or a full-blown crisis. More importantly, try to stay positive and optimistic. Remember, for us as Christians, the Bible says, in 1 Corinthians, that whatever we do, we're to do to the glory of God. Our primary purpose for believers in life is to glorify God. We do that when we care for our bodies and live a healthy lifestyle.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.